on Covering All Bases. I am Aaron.
I'm TJ. Nice to meet you all.
So we're going to go a little rundown of our teams and what we're going to be going over today. I don't know, TJ, did you want to start?
Sure, yeah. My name's TJ Gargano. My favorite sports teams are Brewers and Yankees for the baseball, Knicks and Bucks for basketball, Cowboys and Jets for football, and New York Rangers for hockey. We'll explain more later. But Aaron, you want to tell everybody about your teams?
Aaron Landfear. Favorite teams are all Wisconsin, easy to go by. Bucks, Brewers, Packers, Badgers, all that
Oh
such.
yeah, I'm a huge Badger fan too. If you all couldn't see that. Yeah, I guess we'll start out with MLB news. Sorry for a little slow at this at first because it's literally our first episode, so bear with us. But I'll start with covering my Yankees. They just went 1-2 versus the Atlanta Braves. Did not look good, except for the game yesterday when we won 8-3. But we lost 3-1 today against the Braves. We're now 3-7 in our last 10 games, which is not fun. We are still 52-28 overall on the season, which is not bad in my standards, obviously. But we're only a game and a half up on Baltimore, which we lost 2 out of 3 to them just this last series. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of scared. I know there's a lot of hype around this team, and everybody's gonna struggle, and um, that's the shitty part. But I kind of saw this coming. Our injuries are starting to hit us. Stanton just went down on the IL, and I heard that he expects to be out for 4 weeks. So that's going to be great news. Um, Soto was hurt a couple weeks ago against the Dodgers. He didn't play a single game, and we only won one of those games. Judge was hurt not too long ago either. He had to miss a game, and he could have played, he said, but I feel like he should have. But honestly, having him rest just a tiny bit is kind of nice. In other news, apparently he's turning down the home run derby this year, and I don't blame him because that could mess up your swing tremendously. And who cares if people want to see your home runs? They just go see a Yankee game. He hits one basically every series. Um, Yesterday we called up Oswaldo Peraza, and it immediately sent him down. And in my opinion, they should just trade him at this point. He's been playing the cat and mouse game way too long with this team. It's the Miguel Andujar 2.0 basically, and it's driving me insane with this team with all these call ups and then just send them right down. I am surprised Ben Rice is still up right now with the injury to Rizzo. I guess that kind of helps, but um, this team needs to make major moves at the deadline because this team is not winning the World Series. No way. The way
Really?
that we no, we're no.
Really?
We're too stagnant in our star players right now. Like the bottom of the lineup is not contributing. Um, the only player that's actually really done something in the last couple of games is Trent Grisham. I can't believe I'm saying that, but he homered last night to make like a little bit more insurance last night. Out of his 7 hits with the Yankees, he's hitting like .100 or something like that. 4 of them have been home runs, and they've been coming in kind of clutch, like when we kind of need them, especially against the Dodgers. We needed that, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's just this team just does not look good right now, and um, we need to see change. It, I know Cole's coming back. He's going for his first win on Tuesday night. We have an off day tomorrow, which will be nice. We're going against the Mets, but of course they're hot right now, so who knows what the hell's going to happen? Uh,
Grimace.
yeah, fucking Grimace is like, oh, I'm savior of the Mets. Um, it's just I don't know. It's this team just does not look good right now. Um, the trade for JD Davis today was, in my opinion, not necessarily needed, but I feel like it's going to help a little bit. He does hit pretty well against left-handed pitchers, which we desperately need. I feel like we're one of the worst teams against left-handed pitching. We're hitting 234 right now, and that's not going to win you a championship. You got to hit between each side of the plate, like or pitcher's mound, whatever. Um, Base running is struggling right now. Starting pitching has been a little bit better the last couple of games, but that game against the 17-5 loss against the Orioles Rodon
That
lasted 1 and a third inning, gave up 8 runs, 10 hits. That's terrible.
was a
That
rough
was
game to
it
see.
was awful. And of course, guess who started him in fantasy? Um, but back to JD Davis. So far this year, he's at 123 at bats. He's hitting 236. He's got 4 home runs, 5 RBIs, and a 670 OPS, which isn't terrible. He's got 8 extra base hits. Unfortunately, he's not going to help us in the stolen bases column. He has 0 so far this year, and he only has 7 for his career. He's been in the league 6 years now. Well, 6 or 7 if you count 2017. His last 7 games, he hasn't been too bad though. He's been hitting. Um, he's been 5 for 14 in the last 14 at bats. He's had 4 walks, only 2 strikeouts, and his on base percentage has been 550, which is honestly pretty good, in my opinion. If we can keep that going with him, I feel like they'll be nice. He's played in New York before. He's been a Met before he was in Oakland A this year. I think he's going to do well. Aaron Boone wants to have him platoon with Ben Rice over at third base against left-handed pitchers, and I think that's one of the smartest moves of the season so far. Um, I, in my defense, like we need this to work. Obviously, this isn't the only move we're going to make. Sorry, I got a call. Um,
You're good.
like I was saying, I know this isn't the only move we're going to make, but if this was the only move we're going to make, that's not terrible, but that would be pretty bad. Like we definitely need more bullpen help. Our bullpen has been struggling this year. Victor Gonzalez just got DFA'd. It should have been Caleb Ferguson, in my opinion. He has been nothing but dog right now. Um, he's only had a couple good games, and there's a reason why the Dodgers got rid of him for basically nothing. I don't know why in the hell we picked him up.
Bag of
Um,
chips.
yeah, basically. Clay Holmes has been struggling a lot lately too, and he's blown 2 saves in the last like 4 opportunities. That's not good. And I obviously I don't think this is going to happen, but if we could get Mason Miller from the Oakland, that would be tremendous. But I don't think that's
And
going to
then you
happen.
get a
He's
lot of value you have
we
to
would
give
have
up
to
for
get
that.
yeah we would have to give up Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones. Um, maybe I don't even know honestly. It's like that's just going to take a haul. But Miller's in his rookie season, but he's been dominant. He is clearly one of the best closers in the game right now, throwing 104. And, like that's insane. We need a guy like that. Like
I hit.
that's hopefully if we do like hopefully our if we do make a bullpen transaction, it's not going to be like an Aroldis Chapman transaction where we have hope for him for a couple of years and then he just completely craps the bed. And I'm tired of it looking like it's going to pan out and not panning out. It's been 12 years, or sorry, 2009. It's been 15 years since our last championship. New York needs a championship desperately. It has been way too long. It's for the city of New York. It's been 100 total seasons combined without a championship, and I cannot stand the fact that the only team that's won it since 2011 is the frickin' New York Giants. You know, it is ridiculous. The Giants right now are dog. Like I, it's been ugh, it's very frustrating as a New York fan. Rangers had the perfect opportunity this year to win it all, and of course they get fucking dogged by the freaking Florida Panthers, who are now tied 3-3, going into Game 7 tomorrow against Edmonton after being up 3-0. I would if they would have swept the Oilers, I would have been like, all right, fine, we lost to the Stanley Cup champions. Woo-hoo. What did you do? Now there's a big chance that they might lose tomorrow night. So I don't know. I'm sorry for getting frustrated, but if you're a New York fan, you know. You're a New York fan, you know. So back to MLB. Um, Scherzer looked dominant in his debut today. He pitched 5 innings, only allowed 1 hit on 57 pitches, 0 runs, 0 walks, and struck out 4. As the Rangers won 4-0 today in Kansas against Kansas City. I think he's going to help that team tremendously. They're still under 500, which is I cannot believe I said that right now. Like that team looked so good last year. They just I don't know what the hell's happened to them.
Not like they lost many pieces either.
No, and they acquired Langford again. Like
Yeah.
Langford's rookie season now. Like, come on, what are you guys doing? You're back to the Texas Rangers that everybody knows for the last
Hmm.
64 years. You know?
They haven't had too many injuries. Simeon, I haven't heard very much about him in the news recently, but I believe he's still batting up to what he usually does. If I'm correct. Pitching has pretty much still been stagnant with their team. I mean, they've just been getting baseballed, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah,
160 games. Sometimes you just go on bad losing streaks. Sometimes you go on good losing streak or winning streaks. I don't know
yeah,
if it's just the luck of a draw for them, pun intended.
yeah. Right. And then the Brewers just like obviously today they won, but like this series against the Padres is very disheartening. I don't
Three
know if
straight
you.
against Padres. No, can't do it. Can't do it.
No, no, not at all. I don't know if you have any words on that, but
Well, for one, losing to Manny Machado doesn't feel very good, especially
awful.
after what he did to us in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still will never forget that.
No, no.
I mean, everything looked good today, at least offensively, which today would be June 23rd. Um, they look great, fluid offensively. Still having troubles with getting players on base to actually score. Still leaving people on base. That was the only problem. The pitching was still just about as good as Myers does. He only let off one earned run. Um, that's pretty much what he's done in the last three appearances, I believe. Um, he had a couple of Ks, I believe if it was seven, if I'm not wrong about that. Um, it was a total of, if I can get the right one, yeah, total. Oh, actually, three Ks. So it looked like he put up more ground balls than anything. Um,
Hey, and out's an out.
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially 2 days ago when Rhea put up zero Ks in his 6 innings of whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's
um,
so hit and miss that man. Oh.
Rhea, oh, I can't even get started. It's that's another thing. Our painful pitching injuries,
Mm-hmm.
injuries in the pitching.
Yep.
Oh my God, Gasser, Woodruff. We had Miley. Um, God, who else have we had? Of course, no Corbin Birds. Freddie Peralta is looking very inconsistent lately.
Mm-hmm.
Last game was probably the most solid game he's had in a couple months. At
All
least
season, honestly.
yeah, honestly. The only one close to that was probably the Cubs one, but even then it was not that good, I believe.
Yeah, that game. I went to the game against the Reds that he pitched. He looked
Mhm.
awful. Like he gave up
Nope.
10 or 11 hits. Like he was in the game way too long. I don't know what the hell Pat Murphy was thinking. Uh, it just that fifth inning, they just scored all those runs. And I was just like, he shouldn't even pitch in that inning. It was
No,
that game was gone by the time he sat down. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like this is not the Freddie we know.
I know, especially since filling in Corbin Burns' spot, and you're gonna do that.
Hmm. Against the
Gasser
Reds
looks
too.
like he's our new ace,
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just when he's healthy.
and Tommy John.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even know he was injured until I saw that news. I was like, you got to be joking. Like,
I know.
there's no, there's no way.
I was trying to recall if he got injured during the game or if it was just after, because I didn't think there was anything wrong with him. And then he has Tommy John surgery the next day. I'm like, okay, just to add more
Huh?
insult to injury to our lineup, but
Yeah, I just also, you know,
you know, just how it is.
yeah, you know,
But I mean, sitting still with a 45-33 record, sitting probably top eight, top seven in the league.
which is
Uh,
completely surprising. I don't know
yes,
about you, but I picked this
I
team to go like 70 wins at most.
I went into this season thinking we're gonna have a rebuild year. Pat's gonna kind of get settled in with the lineup after filling in for Craig Clounsell.
Yeah,
Um, but I will say he has impressed me very, very
Oh yes,
much. He
oh
has
yes.
impressed me. The only thing that I probably have problems with is sort of leaving in pitchers a little bit longer than they need to be, but that's been a story since Craig was around, so
Hmm.
nothing to not get used to there. But everything aside, he's gone great with call ups and call downs, DFAing people. He's had, I mean, putting Tyler Black in the lineup, Churio, putting
Yeah,
him in the lineup to this begin
yeah.
pretty much early in the year. They've performed amazing. Turing has looked better
I
than
I
he's ever
I'm
been.
so happy for Terang. He looked
He
like
looked
awful last
he's
year, and
all
I'm
star
so happy for him.
caliber.
Oh yeah, for sure. Second in the league with stolen bases behind Ellie De La Cruz. Obviously,
Yeah,
Ellie's
by
gonna
like
take that every year.
12
Yeah,
steals, I believe.
that's insane. But yeah, I want this team to do things really bad this year because obviously Bob Uecker ain't gonna be around much longer. I want him to see like I don't think they're gonna win a championship this year. Let's not go that far, but I think they can make a run. I can like last year's Diamondbacks and this year's Brewers kind of look like destined to make a push. You know,
Mhm.
I think we can make some moves in this playoffs if we can stay ahead of our division. Um, Thankfully, we're in the worst division of baseball this year. Um,
That is true.
we're still what 7 games ahead the Cubs or something like that right now.
Yes, we are 5 games up on the Cardinals, 7.5 on the Cubs, 7.5 on the Pirates, and 8.5 on the Reds. But the Cubs game, I believe, is still going on right
Yeah,
now, so that
last
could
time I checked,
change.
it was 3-0 in the fifth inning Mets right now. So
Yes.
we'll probably count that as a loss.
Hmm.
So we're looking good. I hate that the Cardinals are coming up again. Mason
Yeah,
Wynn looks really good, and he's the only really Cardinal I'm scared of. But of course, they're the freaking Cardinals. They're gonna find their way, except last year. But um, I still think we can win the division.
yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I
And like I
believe we can
said,
go back to back.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And hopefully do way better than we did last postseason.
That
But
was a very tough loss to
well,
watch.
we don't have Winker anymore, so I don't think we have to worry about him. But
Exactly. And we don't have counsel making those
yes,
decisions for us.
exactly, exactly. I think Pat Murphy will be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Uh, so
Hmm.
well, I guess it's just a waiting game. I hate it, but it's a waiting game. That I hate that the baseball season is 162 games, but it makes sense why it is because every team's gonna have their up and downs, and um, there's no perfect season for everybody. So we'll see.
That's another thing to note. The recent players coming back for the Brewers. Garrett's looking amazing in his rehab assignment. He had 2 home runs, I believe, the other day. I think it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Today he was 1 for 3. Um, wasn't very, eye popping, but he had like 2 strikeouts, I believe. It was 2 strikeouts, a walk, 1 hit.
Then
Um,
you had the inside the Parker the other day.
yes, he did. I
Yeah,
forgot about that. I
yeah,
believe he has 9 home runs in his minor league. Either that or it's 3 or 6 or something like that. But he's averaging like 257, I want to say.
not too bad. Not too bad.
Um, but the acquisition of also Devin Williams coming back here soon. He should be coming after All Star break. That
Oh,
will be
I honestly forgot about that. I'm glad you said that
huge.
because that's gonna be fucking huge.
He is going to be a huge addition to that bullpen, especially with Piamps and Elvis Peguero lately have been looking
Ugh,
pretty off,
don't even get me freaking
especially
started on
Piamps.
Piamps. Oh my, I've hated him
Oh
since last
my.
year. Ugh,
Um, but yes, going back to Garrett, he is actually averaging 278. He's got 5 home runs, 16 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, and a 795 OPS in 126 at bats.
that's not bad.
So
Uh,
pretty solid,
what's
I
his
will
timeline
say.
looking back?
Um, I believe they were saying that's the thing though, because he's still in rehab. So the biggest thing is, and we were talking about this in our group chat, um, was who we're going to replace Garrett, or at least fill Garrett's position into the lineup. or where we were going to put him.
Yeah. I think he should
Um,
be DH for a little bit.
yes. I
Just
mean,
keep him out of the field. Don't make him die for any catches, or
no.
just just keep it as a DH. I feel like we should send down either Bowers or Sanchez. Sanchez hasn't really been that great. Bowers just a fucking walking nightmare. Like he contributes one every 7 games. Feels like
Let's say he did contribute today pretty well. He gave us I think 2 hits in his 4 at bats. I want to say. Let me
I
pull
feel like
that up.
every hit that he gets, he extends his stay by 3 days. So
He was 2 for
he's lucky.
4, 1 RBI, and a strikeout. So
Not too bad.
again, but it's every once in a blue moon for him.
Mm,
Um, Gary has been in a bit of a slump. He had
yeah.
3 strikeouts today.
Okay.
So
As a Yankee fan too, I cannot stand he's a Brewer right now. I one of the most hated players I have right now. It's just I like him as a person, but it's just like he I don't know. He's got to go between like the White Sox or something like that, where he can just play baseball.
he's
He
very
cannot
hit or
be in a
miss.
contending team, in my
Mm-mm.
opinion.
And I wish we
Obvi-
had Cuero, but he is out for the rest of the season.
yes, that's
So
correct. Yeah,
and
I
Eric
mean,
Haas, we don't know why we're not bringing him up,
I
but
I haven't I honestly forgot about him. Like it's been forever since I've heard that name.
yes,
But I think Gary's time is coming to an end. It should at least.
I think I think
I
maybe a month or so, give him a little longer, get Jake Bowers probably set down, bring Garrett up, see how it goes from there.
hmm
But
like with if Garrett stays healthy, this could be one of the best teams in baseball. Still, I feel like because I know your fantasization about Garrett Mitchell. Like this guy's good. Like he knows the game of baseball. He just cannot stay healthy, and I hate that for him. I
especially
absolutely hate it for him. Like I think he can be a star in this league.
he
Honestly.
was red hot when he first got called up.
hmm
I remember going to his game, hitting his first home run against the Pirates, and I
Oh
believe
shit.
Turang walked it off that game, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been him or it was Keston. It
Oh,
was Keston, I believe.
guess we can.
Um, yes. Brewer legend,
Yes.
minor league legend,
Yes.
which that's a whole different topic. We're just going to stick to the Wisconsin sports right now, I
Yep.
believe, because I love Keston. That was another guy I loved as a Brewer fan. But let's talk about. Do you want to move on to NBA then?
Yes. Speaking of NBA, I got a trivia question for you, buddy.
Really?
Which NBA team has the most finals appearances without any wins?
Without any wins. Oh my. So they've never won a championship.
Correct.
Wow. That can only be a few teams. I want to go Suns.
I think you're correct.
I am.
And yeah. And do you know why I asked that question?
Why is that?
Because who beat them in 2021?
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes,
That's
sir.
who.
Yes, sir. I had to bring it up.
Down 2-0, coming back. Giannis with a 50-point game. End it.
Not
Nothing
49,
like it.
not 51, 50.
50.
50 burger.
50.
17 and 19 free throws. I will never forget that game. I really hope we can get back to that. But as a Knicks fan too, I would love to experience that on that side too, because the Knicks need a championship as well. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I
But
really thought they were going to make a deep push this year.
if it
I
wasn't
really
for the
did.
freaking Pacers and all of our injuries, I feel
Yeah.
like we could have beaten Boston.
Yeah. That's another thing with our Milwaukee Bucks run that everyone talks about was the injuries and
Yeah,
how we got a fraudulent championship. But I will stick to it. We down 2-0 in 3 series and came back on each one,
yeah.
won it, got the championship. That's all that matters.
Swept Miami.
We beat the most overhyped team I will ever see in the Suns.
Yeah, and I'm
Kevin?
so glad Chris Paul got over his addiction
Mm-hmm.
too. Oh,
Chris Paul, Devin Booker, when
DeAndre
DeAndre
Ayton.
Ayton was still on there. Yep.
Yeah,
We just outplayed them,
yeah, and
in my
I'm
mind.
glad. Uh, yeah, I love it. I'll never forget that day, July 20th, 2021, one of the happiest days of my life. But I don't know if you had any news about the Bucks. I heard they're shopping Pat Connaughton.
Yes, they are. They're trying to shop Pat Connington.
Long time coming.
That it was. His last couple years were a little iffy. Um, Championship year was probably the best year he's ever had on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Thank you, Pat,
Um,
by the way. Thank you. But
yes, he played a massive role in his defense and his 3-point shooting, which he is seventh, I believe I saw in a statistic somewhere. He is like seventh all time in percentage for 3-point shooting in the finals.
wow,
Yeah.
not that bad. Not too bad. He peaked at the right time.
um, there's also Malik is not going to be returning. That was confirmed by a source. Let me figure out real quick.
While you figure that out, I'm kind of glad because he is the definition of inconsistent. And like going 0 for 7 one game and then going 5 for 8 the next, I'm like, you need to stay consistent. I know Damian Lillard's kind of the same way, but at least Lillard has other ways to score. Only way that Malik Beasley scores is by the 3-point line. It's
That first half of that season, he was red hot.
yeah,
And All Star break, he, especially during the 3-point contest, he was wow.
yeah,
Wow, was he bad.
yeah. That why do you think Aaron Judge doesn't want to do the fucking home run derby? Just don't mess up your mojo. Like I feel like the 3-point contest messed with them, unfortunately, and
I remember, was Clay Thompson in that 3-point contest?
I think so. And I think Klay Thompson went 0 for 10 in an elimination game too.
Oh, jeez. It will never, ever end for
That
him,
no, no,
unfortunately.
no. I can talk about the Mason Crosby jersey. I can still say that Klay Thompson went 0 for 10.
I miss him.
But
I miss Clay. Um, but, so that was confirmed by Crispy Haynes, sorry, Crispy Haynes, and quoted Malik Beasley essentially has played his last game for the Milwaukee Bucks. So it
I
sounds like it's a done deal with him.
I think so too.
Um, there's
If he
not
was
much to
younger, that
say.
would be. If he was younger, I would want to keep him. But what is he?
Yeah,
What, like 33 now? Something like that. I don't know his
he's
age,
high
but
30s. He is 27 actually.
he's only 27.
He's only 27.
Holy crap! I'm
I did
sorry,
not know that.
Malik. I did
I
not.
thought he was like mid to low 30s.
Oh yeah, me too. Holy crap! He does not look like that either. I'm turning 26 this year. There's no way this man's only 1 year older than me. Holy crap! That's insane.
That's unfortunate, but
Now that I think of that, maybe he does have time to develop, but I don't want developed players. I want players that actually know how to win a fucking game, you know? And I want Giannis to be healthy all year, not healthy until like 4 games left and then just miss the playoffs. It's
yeah.
ridiculous. That I was pissed that he missed the series this year.
And it wasn't like it was the game before the playoffs. It was 2 weeks before the playoffs that he got injured. And granted, it didn't seem like it was that bad of an injury, but he's been having issues with that leg for since the championship, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But
I don't think he'll
um,
ever be that caliber again, to be honest, or Giannis. Um, but the Bucks window is closing tremendously. Like if this is a window, I'd be shutting it so fast right now. I'm leaving up just a little bit of breeze just to come into the house, but still open technically. But I think it's closing very quickly.
Doc
But like
Rivers, he's got to make
Lillard,
some moves.
yeah, Lillard's probably gonna be out in a couple of years, and like
Yeah.
who knows how long he's gonna stay, and if he wants to stay, I know he didn't really want to go to Milwaukee, but after this year, like I feel like he likes it here, but he was struggling with his divorce and everything, his kids being in Portland, and that can mess with someone. But I don't know. I just I wasn't expecting a championship this year, but next year I'm expecting it. To be honest,
I'm
if we,
hoping we can kind of get this team to actually get chemistry and Doc Rivers to figure everything out and then make a deep push and probably win the championship.
Yeah. How about you play the
That's the
young guys
ceiling.
and give them a chance?
Yeah.
Like
Marjan
Marja.
Beauchamp
uh,
doesn't play the whole.
uh,
You're about to say it too, weren't you?
he's so good.
He is
Why is
good.
he on the bench?
He is good.
It
He,
drives me up the wall.
especially in that last game against the Pacers, when we put our bench in, and he made I think 6 points within the first like couple minutes. Granted, I think there were layups and a mid-range shot, but he looked comfortable,
Hmm.
so comfortable on that court.
Yeah, I remember being at his first his first NBA game that he's actually scored in. Like I saw his first career bucket. I mean, granted it was garbage time, but like I want this kid to be good so bad. Like I remember watching him get drafted, and he was just crying on drafting. I was like, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity." You know, like I want the world for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna be like I'm obviously he's not gonna be a superstar, but like I think he can be a solid player in this league.
I think he could get up to superstar, honestly, especially
Yeah,
with Dame that had him under his wing.
that's true.
I could see him maybe developing into someone that could make an All-Star appearance, but not going to get too ahead of myself.
No, no.
Him and Ajax
Yes,
especially
Andre Jackson looks good too. He's a great
Dennis
rebounder. I love him.
Rodman of the team.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh, for sure.
God.
For sure.
Oh my
This man can
God.
fly too.
He throws his body around, catches basketballs out of bounds, throws them, makes plays on both ends of the court. You'll see him on the get back for a layup. He goes up, slams it off the backboard. Like he makes the most out of every play and every single play. Like it amazes me. I don't know how sometimes he can jump that high or even make the effort that he does every game, but he makes the most out of his minutes. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know how the hell Doc doesn't see that. I really don't. Like I know you've been a coach since what, fucking '04 or whatever. But yeah. Um in other news for NHL, like we touched on earlier, NHL's Stanley Cup Game Sevens tomorrow night as we're recording this. Oilers came back from 3-0 to tie the series on Friday night, winning 5-3, I think. I honestly think the Oilers have all the momentum right now, and they could win it, and they'll be the first Canadian team to win it all in a very long time in the NHL.
Hmm.
And as a Ranger fan, I would love to see the Panthers lose that. Like they're like mosquitoes. They just don't go away on the ice. They're just here's the freaking Panther the whole freaking time. You know, just they just drove me up the wall. I hated that series. Once we went down 3-2, I knew it was over. Like when we lost Game 6, I was like, yeah, well, I kind of saw this coming. So I hated it, but we'll see. Like it's all a guessing game, I guess. Um, I don't know if there's any NFL news going around with your pack going on.
Well, there was a big news this evening with Jordan Love. He got engaged to his now fiance.
Nice,
Um,
congrats.
that
All
was
you need
all
is love, I
rumor.
guess.
There hasn't been too much other than Jordan Love, our starting quarterback for the Packers, actually making it to training camp. First quarterback to ever do that in the past, what, 6 years probably. Um,
Yeah, don't rub it in.
Other than Aaron Rodgers, yes, I was going to get to that. Other than Aaron Rodgers for the Jets having a more important event to attend to,
Yep.
but
Um, yeah, like right now, I'm not too concerned about the Jets. Like, obviously, Rodgers is 40 years old. He doesn't really need training camps anymore and everything. Like, I know they're mandatory, but like at this
won't
point,
go for
he's
your
gonna
team.
retire next year. What the hell's the point? Just have a good year, and that's all I care about. We've beefed up the offensive line. We've got signed Tyron Smith. We drafted well this year. We drafted Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin, which I absolutely love. He's going to be
He's
the
going to be a
perfect
stud.
third down back behind Brees Hall. He's going to be a monster.
He's going to be an absolute stud for that team, and I know that.
Yes, Yes.
Every Badger that gets slept on in the drafts recently have been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely phenomenal. And I will never forgive the Packers for not drafting TJ Watt.
The
Never will forgive
Cowboys was JJ.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys had a chance at JJ, and they didn't take it. I mean, we did get Zach Martin out of it, but still, he should have been a Cowboy easily.
But training camp, I saw Rashawn Gary. He has been performing pretty well, actually. I saw a clip of him doing some training, I would say.
Nice.
He was going doing swim moves, spin moves, bunch of other crap, getting his speed up. He looked really good, but that's just training camp. So I mean, Ben Simmons makes threes in his practice, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But of course, the Packers with Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs. Rest in peace, Aaron Jones. I am going to be very sad about that this season, but we're going to see how this goes with Josh Jacobs instead. Seems like it wasn't really a downgrade or
I don't think so.
much of an upgrade.
They're basically the same running back in my
They're
opinion.
pretty much the same, except I think Josh Jacobs is a year younger, I believe.
Yes, I believe so.
Xavier McKinney, of course, the big talk of the offseason for us. He was phenomenal on the Giants. He's going to be phenomenal on the Packers, especially that backfield, especially with Jair him, and let's see. I don't believe he is healthy yet. Trying to think. But anyway, of course, our new defensive coordinator, I believe he's going to be actually really good. He's already got some, I believe, 3-4 schemes or 4-3 schemes that he's going to be utilizing with our team. I just get a sense he's going to be way better. Way better. Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. You mean Andres? I thought Tucker Carlson is the guy on Fox News.
Yes, he is.
What?
Anders Carlson.
I was gonna say, you hate them both.
But yeah, Anders Carlson. We'll see how that goes. I believe we released the backup kicker that we were going to maybe have him compete with Carlson.
Wow.
So it seems like they're going to stick with Carlson for at least till they release him or pick up someone else. I don't know how to feel about it, but I hope he can improve, especially after last season's performance.
That was pretty bad.
That was very bad.
Yes.
We could have gone farther in the playoffs if it wasn't for the missed kick. But I can't be mad about it. I was not expecting us to go this deep in the playoffs last year.
Nobody was.
Nope. I was expecting us to maybe be third place in our division, above the Bears, of course. Never be the Bears, but do you have any comments about your Cowboys season?
Fuck them. I'm so done with this team. If I wasn't already a diehard Cowboys fan, I would not be a fan of this team anymore. Their mindset is just it drives me up the wall. With Jerry Jones being all he cares about is money. It's clear as day. They were all in this year on the offseason where they only re-signed a freaking linebacker. I'm like, come on, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, this fan base is starving for a Super Bowl appearance, let alone a win. It's been 30 fucking years. Way too long. I have never seen it in my life. And I'm probably not going to see it at all, the way that this is going. As long as Jerry Jones is running the team. He needs to fire himself and just go jump off a cliff. I'm so done. Fucking Michael Parsons and CeeDee Lamb have been no-shows. Like, to start out the OTAs, I know they've come back already, but, like, that mindset is still not good. Like you cannot have that going into the season,
No.
especially when you're a Dallas Cowboys. Like they are the most valuable team in all of sports in all of the world for a reason. They're America's team, but all they care about is not winning. Like they make it to the playoffs, so like, all right, yeah, we're gonna make some money off the game, that's it. We'll just go home after that, That Packers Cowboys game this year in the playoffs was one of the worst games I've ever watched in my life. It was awful. I can go on and on and on about that. There's been the kick from God in 2018 it was, I can't remember, from Racing Cosby in AT&T Stadium. The no catch by Dez. Like I this is why I hate the Packers. It's like, I'm sorry, but fuck them. But I'm glad you guys are good now, like for your sake. But it's my turn. It's my turn. You guys have had your fun. You've seen a Super Bowl win in your lifetime. I haven't.
I have.
It
Yes,
sucks. It really sucks. And I honestly think the Jets are going to be better than the Cowboys this year. Like I don't see the Cowboys doing anything this year. They'll win maybe 10 games, be competent, get maybe the 6th seed in the playoffs, and they're not going to do anything. And it's just the same story over and over. I'm getting tired of it. Until I see them make at least the NFC Championship game, I'm going to feel different about this team. But for right now, I'm going to be rooting for the Jets basically all year. I'll root for CeeDee Lamb and Michael Parsons because they're still my favorite players. And I want Deuce Vaughn to be really good too. I think he has a great potential. It's like the Darren Sproles 2.0, I feel like, if he actually gets utilized the way he should be. But until they prove what they want to do, I'm not gonna have any hope anymore, and it's ridiculous. And I know I'm not the only Cowboys fan that feels that way.
No,
You know?
you are not. You
And
are like many other.
Yeah, Dak has got to go. I'm sorry, he only plays for regular season wins. That's all he cares about. He's like, yeah, I'm ready to play this game. Blah 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 blah. No, you're not. No, you're not. Like it shouldn't take you to the second half to get ready for a playoff game. That was awful. That was awful. Like, I don't know. I can just go on about these guys. It's just, I'm not going to be spending any more money on them. I do love. I did forget about Jacob Ferguson. He is a fucking stud. I think he's going to be one of the best tight ends behind Travis Kelce this year. He's going to be Dak's number 2 target behind CD. Hopefully he gets more touches this year. And yeah, well, I guess just a waiting game with this team.
It's another Badger stud. Ferguson
Yes, of course.
looked absolutely amazing, especially during that playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
He had quite a number of catches and probably, I think he had, did he have?
He had the first touchdown for us at least.
Yes.
I think he had 3 touchdowns.
I was about to say, I think he was the one that was carrying the load on that offense.
Yeah.
But once again, with Badger studs being slept on in the draft, I think he's going to be great. But how did you feel about the draft for your team?
Jets obviously killed it with Braylon Allen in the 4th round. Cowboys had a decent draft. Like I wasn't too fond of it. Like they picked up another offensive lineman to replace Tyron this year in the 1st round. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like Jets, I feel like the Jets definitely had a better draft class. They got Jordan Davis out of Florida State. He looks good. I think you can learn again behind Rodgers. He's already better than Zach Wilson. I'm so like that trade with Denver was just a godsend from heaven. It's like a gift. Finally got rid of him. Like when we drafted Zach, I told him that Sam Darnold 2.0, and I know I was right. Like there's no point. I was in my mind like this is gonna work out the same exact way. And I want Jordan Travis to be good, really bad. Like we need that solid quarterback play behind Rodgers. It's last year I feel like Wilson definitely showed a little bit of capability, but he still got benched. Like there's a reason. Like he had that Cinderella run for the couple games. Almost beat Kansas City, but as that's another frustrating thing about my Jets. Like, they've been a quarterback away for like what 15 years now. Like they've had a stellar defense. C.J. Mosley's still grinding out fucking tackles and sacks, and Jermaine Johnson looks like a monster. And it's just we need something to back that up on the offensive side. Like it cannot all be defense. It's ridiculous. But we'll see. We'll all see, I guess. But hopefully Rodgers lasts more than 4 plays this year. But
Yeah.
I have the over under on like 150. So
I watched that game when that was first played. Very great intro, I will say.
yeah,
Not a good start to the game, though.
no.
I remember seeing him go down, and all I was thinking about was how our trade was not going to give us a first round pick.
That's
That was
true.
my biggest issue with it.
That's true. I forgot about
But
that part now.
it did all work out. We got Jordan Morgan. I will say he looks solid. With getting rid of and it's depressing to even talk about because I did really, really love Bakhtiari. Him drinking beers all the time at Bucks games. Oh man, I'm gonna miss that.
Hey,
But
that's the only thing he was healthy for. So
yeah, unfortunately, but he was a very he was, how do I say this? He was a couch potato for us. He took our money.
yep.
He was injured almost every year for the past 5 years, probably. And I think Jordan Travis is about same in terms of being able to get flexible in the offensive schemes. He looked really solid on his college team, and he looked really good. I think in training camp of a couple of videos that I saw. I know Javon Bullard we signed. Um, he's going to be really good against or with Xavier McKinney in that backfield as well. Some of the other guys we got from the draft didn't really get eye popping for me as much. I really wish we could have gotten Cooper DeJean. That was the one thing that I didn't think
Yes.
today.
Yeah. I want him too.
He would have been big for us. But it wasn't a huge need, especially with Eric and Jair in our cornerback room, anyways.
True.
But I think we had a really solid draft. Jordan Morgan's going to be great on the offensive line, along with Elton Jenkins with him, and a couple of the other pieces that stepped up on the offensive line and actually performed amazing. Adrian Cooper was another one. I really did like Adrian Cooper. He's going to be pretty good against or with Rashawn Gary in that linebacker room. Marshawn Lloyd looks like Marshawn Lynch, I'd say. Him and AJ Dillon are probably going to be a really good power duo. AJ Dillon looked really good this offseason, especially with getting some muscle on him.
He wasn't already muscular. Jesus.
I know. Tree
That's gonna
trunk
be scary.
size.
That's gonna be scary.
But I'm just hoping that we can do the same thing we did last year, except end it with a Super Bowl win.
You guys have a shot. You definitely have a better
Yeah,
shot than I think everybody thinks. But
everyone's predicting us to go, and I think the Chiefs or the Texans.
yeah, that could be a great series. That can be a great game. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So I think that will wrap everything up.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a great first show. Hopefully we can keep this going. Well, basically we'll just keep doing this from here on out. Hopefully we'll start doing like YouTube on the side as well. Start vlogging because him and I go to a lot of Brewer games. We're going to our next game together will be July 10th against the Pirates. We'll be vlogging that. And Andrew, Aaron's going to the game tomorrow night against the Rangers with his girlfriend Allie, which I feel like it's going to be a great game. We're back on the win column. Maybe hopefully that can help us propel back into another win and start the series off right against the World Series champs. And Yankees have a much needed day off tomorrow, and they're bringing it back against the Mets on Tuesday. Garrett Cole's coming back, and yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, we'll see you guys next episode.
All right.
See ya.
Guys.
Peace.